I woke up coughing, my throat burning like sandpaper. Smoke pressed against my face, and the hallway glowed orange under my door. I jumped from bed and shouted, "Mom! Dad! Lila!" No answer came back, only the crackle of flames and the groan of wood breaking somewhere below me. I ran to my door and grabbed the handle. It burned my palm, and I screamed, "Mom, please, I'm here." My voice sounded small, swallowed by the roaring house. I yanked my sleeve over my hand and pulled the door open. Heat rushed in like a monster. The hallway looked like a tunnel made of fire. I heard footsteps downstairs. "Dad!" I shouted. "Wait for me." I coughed so hard my knees shook. Through the smoke, I heard Mom's voice. "Daniel, hurry. Lila's room is closer." Closer. The word hit me harder than the heat. "I'm here too," I screamed. "I'm right here." No answer. I stumbled into the hallway, gripping the wall. "Mom! Dad! Please come back." The stairs creaked loudly. I heard my dad shout, "Evelyn, watch your step." They were leaving. "Don't go." My voice cracked. "Don't leave me." I tried to run, but the smoke wrapped around my chest. I felt my knees, coughing until my eyes watered. The floor felt hot through my pajamas. "Mom!" I cried again, softer now. "I'm scared." Something exploded downstairs. The house shook. I covered my head and sobbed. "I don't want to die," I whispered. The ceiling groaned above me. I crawled toward the stairs, each breath sharp and painful. "Please," I kept saying. "Please come back." I reached the top step and froze. Flames climbed the staircase like they were alive. The heat pushed me back. "I can't get down," I said to nobody. "I can't get down." My chest tightened. My vision blurred. I thought about Lila's laugh, about how we used to share everything. "They saved you," I whispered. "They chose you." The words tasted bitter. The smoke grew thicker. I pressed my face to the floor and cried. "Someone help me." A loud crash came from the front door. Heavy footsteps pounded inside. "Fire department," a deep voice shouted. "Call out if you can hear me." "I'm here," I screamed with everything left in me. Upstairs. The footsteps got closer. "Hold on, kid. I'm coming." I saw a shadow through the smoke. A man in a mask rushed toward me. "I've got you," he said firmly. "You're safe now." I thought they forgot me. I sobbed. "They didn't forget," he said, lifting me into his arms. "They just needed help getting to you." I clung to his jacket. It hurt. Everything hurts. "I know," he said gently. "Just breathe." As he carried me down the burning stairs, I heard sirens screaming outside. Cold night air hit my face, and I gasped like I had been underwater. "You're okay," the man said, setting me on the ground. "My name's Captain Reyes. Stay with me, all right? Where are my parents?" I asked quickly. "They're here," he said. "They're with your sister." "With Lila." My voice trembled. He nodded once. "Paramedics are checking her." I tried to stand but stumbled. "I want my mom." A woman in blue scrubs knelt beside me as the world spun. "Hey there," she said softly. "I'm Nurse Sophia. You're very brave." "I want my mom," I repeated. "She's nearby," Nurse Sophia said. "Let's get you warm first." They wrapped me in a blanket and lifted me into the ambulance. My body shook nonstop. Inside the hospital, I heard crying in the hallway. Mom's voice sounded broken. "My baby, my poor baby." I pushed myself up on the bed. "Mom," I called weakly. No one came. I slid off the bed and followed the voices down the hall. My feet hurt with every step. Through a doorway, I saw Mom and Dad hugging Lila tightly. Mom kissed her forehead again and again. Dad whispered, "You're safe now. You're safe." I stood in the doorway and whispered, "I'm safe too." They didn't hear me. Nurse Sophia found me and gently turned me around. "You should rest," she said quietly. "Do they know I'm okay?" I asked. She hesitated. "They will." I looked back once more at my family wrapped around Lila like she was the only thing that mattered. I touched the bandage on my arm and whispered, "Did they love her more?" No one answered. I sat on the cold bench outside the room and listened to the quiet beeping machines. I pressed my hands together and tried to understand why my chest hurt more than my burns. "Maybe tomorrow they'll see me." I whispered to the empty hallway and waited for morning that never came that night for me, forever and ever. I learned how to be quiet after the fire. Silence felt safer than asking questions nobody wanted to answer. At breakfast one morning, Mom placed pancakes in front of Lila and smiled. "Eat while it's warm, sweetheart." I sat down slowly and asked, "Can I have some too?" Mom blinked like she had just noticed me. "Oh, yes, of course." She handed me a plate without looking up again. Dad ruffled Lila's hair. "How's my brave girl today?" "I'm okay," she said softly. I waited for him to look at me. He didn't. I whispered, "I have a math test today." Dad nodded absently. "That's nice." Nice. That was all I got. School became my hiding place. I kept my head down, finished my work, and left before anyone could ask questions. One afternoon, a boy dropped into the seat across from me in the cafeteria. "You always sit alone," he said. I shrugged. "It's quiet." "I'm Amir," he said, smiling. "You look like you hate noise." "I don't hate noise," I replied. "I hate being ignored." He raised an eyebrow. "That sounds heavy for lunch talk." "It's not your problem." He pushed half his sandwich toward me. "Everything is my problem now." "Eat." I stared at the sandwich. "Why?" "Because you look like you need a friend." I laughed quietly. "You don't even know me. I know lonely when I see it." His words hit harder than I expected. I took the sandwich. "Thanks." From that day, Amir never left me alone. One afternoon, he asked, "What happened to your arm?" "Fire," I said. "How's fire?" "Yeah." He waited. "That's all you're giving me?" "My parents saved my sister first." I blurted out. "They forgot me." He didn't laugh or look shocked. He just said, "That must hurt." I nodded. It never stops hurting. Years passed like that. Amir talking. Me listening. At home, nothing changed. On Lila's birthday, the house filled with balloons and laughter. Dad handed her car keys and said, "You deserve the world." I stood by the doorway and asked quietly, "Can we talk later?" Dad said, "Not now." Mom added, "Don't ruin the mood." I whispered, "I just wanted to say happy birthday." Lila hugged me quickly. "Thanks." Her smile faded when she saw my face. "Are you okay?" "I am fine," I lied. That night, I sat in the dark living room until my parents came downstairs. My hand shook, but I forced the words out. "We need to talk." Mom sighed. "Can it wait?" "No," my voice cracked. "It can't wait anymore." Dad sat down slowly. "What is it?" I stared at them. "Why didn't you come back for me?" Silence filled the room. Mom whispered, "We thought you were behind us." I was screaming, I said. I was begging. Dad rubbed his face. "We panicked." "You chose her," I said. "You chose her and left me to burn." Mom started crying. "That's not fair." "What's not fair is thinking I died alone," I replied. Dad said quietly, "We were scared." "I was 10, I shouted. "I was terrified." Mom whispered, "We love you." I laughed bitterly. It never felt like it. Dad reached toward me. "We tried to move forward." "You moved forward without me." Mom sobbed. "What do you want from us?" "I wanted you to come back," I said softly. No one spoke. I stepped back and shook my head. "I understand now." Dad asked, "Understand what?" "I'm on my own." Mom cried harder. "Don't say that." "I have to," I said. "Because nobody else will." I walked upstairs and packed a small bag. My hands trembled as I folded my clothes. Amir answered when I called him. "You okay?" he asked immediately. "I won't be if I stay here," I said. "Then don't stay. I'm leaving when I turn 18. "I'll help you," he said without hesitation. I looked around my room and whispered, "I'm done waiting to be loved." "You deserve better," Amir replied. I zipped the bag and stared at the door. From now on, I survive alone. The morning I turned 18, I stood at the front door with a small bag and a shaking hand. Mom said softly, "You don't have to do this." "I do," I replied. Dad crossed his arms. "Where will you go?" "Anywhere that isn't here." Lila stepped closer. "Can we talk first?" I shook my head. "I can't stay long enough to change my mind." Mom whispered, "We can fix this." "You had 8 years," I said quietly. Dad sighed. "You're being dramatic." "I'm being honest." Lila grabbed my sleeve. "Please don't leave angry." "I'm not angry," I said. "I'm done." I opened the door before anyone could stop me. Cold air hit my face, and I felt lighter and heavier at the same time. Outside, Amir leaned against his car. "Happy Freedom Day," he said. I forced a smile. I thought I'd feel happier. "You will," he replied. "Freedom feels scary at first. Where do I even start?" With breakfast, he said. You look like you haven't eaten in a week. I haven't. He laughed. Then today is already an improvement. The first weeks blurred together. Cheap rooms, long walks, empty pockets. One night, I counted coins on a tiny table. This won't last, I muttered. Amir sat across from me. You'll find something. I applied everywhere. Keep trying. I'm tired of trying. You don't get to quit, he said firmly. Not after coming this far. The next morning, I pushed open the door of a small repair shop. Tools covered the walls. A man looked up from a broken radio. Can I help you? He asked. I need a job, I said. He studied me. Experience? None. Then why should I hire you? Because I won't give up. He chuckled. Everyone says that. I mean it, I insisted. I learned fast. He wiped his hands and extended one. I'm Mr. Alvarez. I shook his hand. I'm desperate. He smiled slightly. Desperate people work hard. So I'm hired. You're on trial, he said. Don't make me regret it. That day changed everything. Hold the screwdriver steady, he instructed. Like this. Better. You've got good hands. No one had ever said that to me before. After work, he handed me a sandwich. Eat. You don't have to do that. I know, he replied. I want to. I swallowed hard. Thank you. Weeks turned into months. You're improving, he said one evening. I still mess up. Everyone does, he replied. The difference is you keep trying. His words stayed with me. One night, my phone buzzed. Lila's name filled the screen. I stared at it. Amir glanced over. You gonna answer? I can't. She's your sister. She was there when they left me. That wasn't her fault. I know, I whispered. But it still hurts. The phone buzzed again. Message after message. Please talk to me. I miss you. I didn't know. I turned the phone face down. Not yet. Amir nodded slowly. Take your time. Work became my routine. My escape. My proof that I could stand alone. One evening, Mr. Alvarez handed me a paycheck. You earned this. I stared at it. This is more than I expected. You're worth more than you think, he said. I laughed quietly. No one ever told me that. I just did. I held the paycheck like it might disappear. I won't waste this chance. I know, he said. I can see the fire in you. I smiled at the word fire. For the first time, it didn't feel painful. Later that night, Amir asked, Do you regret leaving? No, I said. I regret not leaving sooner. He grinned. That's progress. I leaned back in my chair and exhaled slowly. I'm not just surviving anymore. What are you doing then? I'm building something. Like what? A future, I said. One I chose. My phone buzzed again. Lila's name flashed across the screen. I silenced it and set it aside. Amir watched me carefully. Still not ready? Not yet. Someday. Maybe. I looked around the tiny apartment, at the paycheck in my hand, at the life I was slowly creating. I don't want to just survive, I said quietly. Amir smiled. What do you want? I want to succeed. I stared at the sign above my office door and whispered, I actually did it. Amir leaned beside me and laughed. You didn't just do it. You built it. I still feel like the broke kid with a toolbox. You're the boss now, he said. Get used to it. Inside, phones rang nonstop. Tools clicked. Customers filled the waiting area. A woman stepped to the counter and said, Are you the owner? I nodded. How can I help? My laptop is dead, she said. Everything important is on it. I'll fix it, I replied. She smiled. You sound very confident. I worked hard for that confidence. She extended her hand. I'm Maya. I shook it carefully. I'm glad you walked in today. She laughed softly. That sounds like a line. It wasn't meant to be. Well, she said, I hope you can save my files. I'll try my best. She came back the next day. You saved everything, she said, eyes shining. I told you I'd try. You didn't try. You succeeded. Her words made me smile. Do you always give compliments like that? Only when they're true. Weeks turned into dinners and late-night talks. One evening she asked, Why do you work so much? I don't know how to stop. You're allowed to rest. Rest feels dangerous, I admitted. She reached across the table. Who hurt you? I hesitated. My past. You don't have to carry it alone, she said gently. I've carried it my whole life. Then maybe it's time to put it down. Her words followed me into therapy weeks later. Dr. Chun smiled warmly. Why are you here? I want to stop feeling angry. Anger usually protects pain, he said. What are you protecting? My childhood, I replied. Tell me about the fire. They saved my sister first, I said. They never came back for me. Dr. Chen nodded slowly. That must feel like abandonment. It feels like proof. Proof of what? That I wasn't worth saving. He leaned forward. Is that fact or belief? I hesitated. Belief. Beliefs can change, he said. I don't know how. We'll learn together. Therapy became my weekly routine. Maya asked one night, how was your session? Hard. Hard means progress. I'm not ready to forgive them. You don't have to rush. I don't even know if I want to forgive them. She squeezed my hand. You just need peace. One afternoon, Amir rushed into my office. You have a visitor. Tell them to wait. You want to see this one. I stepped into the lobby and froze. Lila stood near the door, twisting her hands nervously. She whispered hi. My chest tightened. Why are you here? I've been trying to reach you. I know. You never answered. I wasn't ready. She nodded slowly. I understand. Silence stretched between us. She looked around the office. You built all this? Yes. I'm proud of you, she said softly. The words felt strange. Why now? I needed to see you. For what? She swallowed hard. I learned something. I crossed my arms. What? Her voice trembled. I never knew they left you. My heart pounded. What do you mean? They told me they went back, she said. I believed them. I felt the room spin. They didn't. Her eyes filled with tears. I know that now. Anger and confusion crashed inside me. Why are you telling me this? Because we need to talk. I stared at Lila and whispered, talk about what? She swallowed hard. About the fire. About the truth. My chest tightened. Say it. They told me they went back for you, she said. For years, I believed them. I felt my hand shake. They didn't. I know, she whispered. I found out last year. Ow! I asked them directly, she replied. I couldn't live with the guilt anymore. I stepped back. Guilt? I thought you hated me because I survived, she said, tears forming. I thought I stole your life. You didn't steal it, I said quietly. They gave it away. She broke down. They admitted they panicked. Your room was farther from the stairs. They grabbed me first and thought you would follow. They thought. I repeated. They said they meant to come back, she whispered. But the fire spread too fast. I laughed bitterly. They meant to come back. I'm so sorry, she cried. I didn't know. I stared at the floor. I spent years believing they chose you. They did choose me, she said softly. Even if they didn't mean to. Silence filled the office. She wiped her eyes. Please come with me. Where? To see them. My heart pounded. Why now? They're not okay, she said, and they want to apologize. I clenched my fists. An apology won't change anything. Maybe not, she whispered, but it might change you. I closed my eyes and exhaled slowly. I don't know if I can face them. You don't have to forgive them, she said. Just listen. After a long silence, I said, okay. The drive felt endless. My hand stayed tight on my knees. Lila whispered, you can turn back any time. I won't, I replied. We stopped in front of my childhood home. My chest felt heavy as we walked to the door. Mom opened it and froze. You came. I came to listen, I said. Dad stepped forward slowly. Thank you. We sat in the living room, the same room where I had once packed my bag. Mom whispered, we never stopped loving you. I stared at her. But you stopped seeing me. Tears rolled down her face. We were ashamed. Dad's voice shook. We failed you. I asked quietly, why didn't you come back for me? He looked down. I thought you were behind us. I was screaming, I said. I know, he whispered. I hear it every night. Mom sobbed. We told ourselves you followed us. We told ourselves we had no choice. You had a choice, I said. Dad nodded slowly. We chose wrong. The room felt smaller with every breath. Mom reached for my hand. I'm sorry. I pulled back gently. I waited years to hear that. Dad whispered, we don't expect forgiveness. Good, I said, because I don't have it. Mom cried harder. Please don't shut us out forever. I don't know how to let you in, I admitted. Lila squeezed my shoulder. You don't have to decide today. I stood up slowly. This pain shaped my entire life. Dad nodded. I know. I built everything from that night. I continued. Every success, every fear. Mom whispered, we're proud of you. That means nothing to me, I said softly. Silence filled the room again. I walked toward the door. Mom cried, "Please stay." I paused, but didn't turn around. I came to listen. I listened. Dad asked quietly, "Will you come back?" "I don't know," I replied. Outside, the air felt colder than before. Lila whispered, "How do you feel?" "Lost," I admitted. She nodded. "Me too." I looked at the house one last time and said, "I don't know if closure is real." Then I walked away again. My phone rang late at night. Lila's name filled the screen again. I answered quietly. "What's wrong?" Her voice shook. I didn't know who else to call. My chest tightened. "Tell me." "Dad collapsed at work," she whispered. "Mom hasn't been well either." I closed my eyes. "Are they okay?" "They're in the hospital." Silence stretched between us. "I'm sorry," she said. "I know you don't owe us anything." "Why call me?" I asked. "I don't need money," she replied. "I need help carrying this." I leaned against the wall. "You've been carrying it alone?" "For years," she said. "I'm tired." Her voice cracked, and something inside me softened. "I'll come tomorrow." "Thank you," she whispered. The next morning, I told Maya, "I'm going to see them." She nodded slowly. "How do you feel?" "Confused." "Angry." "A little." "Scared." "More than I expected." She stepped closer. "You survived. That's your power." I looked at her. "What if I don't feel powerful?" "You don't have to feel it," she said. "You just have to remember it." At the hospital entrance, I stopped walking. Lila stood near the doors. "You came," she said softly. I said I would. She hugged me quickly. "Thank you." We walked down a quiet hallway. My heart pounded with every step. Lila whispered, "They're in room 312. I stopped outside the door. "I don't know what to say." "Just be honest," she replied. I pushed the door open slowly. Mom looked smaller than I remembered. Dad sat beside her, pale and tired. Mom whispered, "You're here." "I'm here," I replied. "Dad, try to stand." "Thank you for coming." "You don't have to stand," I said. He sat back down slowly. "I wanted to see you." Mom wiped her eyes. "We missed you." I took a deep breath. I didn't know if I'd come. Dad nodded. "You had every reason not to." Silence filled the room. Machines beeped softly. Mom whispered, "We're not doing well." "I can see that." "We lost the house," Dad admitted quietly. I blinked. "What?" "Medical bills," he said. "Everything fell apart." Lila looked down. "I've been helping as much as I can." I asked softly, "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" Dad sighed. "We didn't want to burden you." I laughed quietly. "You were my burden my whole life." Mom cried. "We deserve that." I stepped closer to the bed. "I'm not here for revenge." Dad looked surprised. "You're not." "I don't even know what I'm here for," I admitted. Lila whispered, "Maybe closure." Mom reached for my hand. "We're proud of the man you became." "I built my life without you," I said. Dad nodded slowly. "We know. And that hurts more than anything," Mom whispered. I stared at them. They looked fragile, nothing like the powerful figures from my childhood. Dad said quietly, "You don't have to forgive us." "I know, but thank you for coming anyway." I sat down beside the bed. "I thought seeing you like this would make me feel strong." "And?" Mom asked softly. "It makes me feel sad." Dad closed his eyes. "You deserved better parents." My chest tightened. I needed parents who came back. He nodded slowly. "I needed parents who heard me screaming." "I hear you now," he whispered. Tears filled my eyes. "It's late." "I know," he said. The room felt heavy with years of unspoken words. Dad reached for my hand weakly. I let him hold it. His voice broke as he whispered, "I failed you." I sat beside Dad's hospital bed long after visiting hours ended. The room felt quiet and heavy. He whispered, "You should go home." "I will soon," I replied. Mom looked at me carefully. "Thank you for staying." "I didn't stay for you," I said softly. "I stayed for me." Dad nodded slowly. "That's fair." Silence stretched between us until Lila stepped closer. "Can we talk outside?" she asked. I followed her into the hallway. She hugged herself and said, "I'm scared." "I know. I don't want to lose them," she whispered. "You won't lose them today." "I almost lost you," she said, voice shaking. I sighed. "We lost each other for years." "Can we try again?" she asked. I looked at her carefully. "I don't know how. We'll figure out together," she said. Her words felt simple, but they warmed something inside me. Okay. She smiled through tears. Really? Really? That night, I told Maya everything. I think I'm ready to forgive them, I said quietly. She smiled gently. You don't owe them forgiveness. I know, I replied, but I owe myself peace. She squeezed my hand. That's the strongest thing you've ever said. The next morning, I returned to the hospital. Dad looked surprised. You came back. I needed to say something. Mom sat up slowly. We're listening. I took a deep breath. I carried anger for years. Dad nodded. You had every right. But I'm tired of carrying it, I continued. Mom whispered, what does that mean? It means I forgive you. Tears filled her eyes instantly. Are you sure? I'm not doing it for you, I said. I'm doing it for me. Dad covered his face and cried quietly. Thank you. Don't thank me, I replied. Just don't waste the time we have left. Mom reached for my hand. This time, I didn't pull away. Days turned into weeks. Conversations grew easier. Silence felt less heavy. One afternoon, Lila asked, will you come somewhere with me? Where? Home. We drove in silence until the car stopped in front of an empty lot. I stepped out slowly. It's gone. The city demolished it years ago, she said. I stared at the space where my childhood once stood. My chest tightened, but the pain felt different now. Lila whispered, what are you thinking? I thought this place would always hurt. And now? It feels quiet, I said. She smiled softly. That's good. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. The air felt lighter than I expected. I used to dream about this night, I admitted. What kind of dreams? She asked. Nightmares, I replied. Fire everywhere. No way out. She touched my arm gently. You made it out. I did, I said slowly. We stood together in silence until the sun began to set. I'm glad you came back in my life, she said. I'm glad you didn't stop trying, I replied. Later that evening, Maya wrapped her arms around me. You look peaceful, she said. I feel peaceful, I answered. That's new, she teased. It is. I looked at the sky and smiled for the first time without heaviness in my chest. They left me to burn, I whispered, but I became stronger than the flames.